What you hear isn't just any beat. It's the actual heartbeat of a child in need. This is Ryan Tedder from One Republic. The beat of our new song, Feel Again, was created with heartbeats of children in need. Find out how it can help frontline health workers save millions of children at everybeatmatters.org.
Brought to you by Save the Children and the Ad Council.
Talk 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, WKIS HD3, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Getting support from friends online kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
Instead of smoking after I ate, I'd get up and take a walk.
I missed having a cigarette in my hand, so I'd hold a pen or a straw, anything.
Until I knew I wouldn't give in to temptation, I spent more time with my friends who didn't smoke.
I went to places that were smoke-free.
I didn't stay quit the very first time I tried.
I kept on trying, and I learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
We did it, so can you.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
AM 1470, WNN, with more of what you need to know. Don't miss South Florida's Eat and Critique radio show with Steve-O and Renee. Saturdays at 2. Bring your appetite. On South Florida's Health and Wealth Network, AM 1470, WNN.
Being prepared for emergencies is essential, especially in Florida. In a disaster, when power is out for days, a propane whole house generator allows you to weather the storm with all your appliances and electronics. For information about propane home appliances, including whole house generators, visit propanefl.com. Propane gas. Enjoy its comforts every day. Count on it during emergencies.
A message from the Florida Propane Gas Safety, Education, and Research Council, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
What you want to know. What you need to know.
Talk 1470, WNN.
I have a passion for the environment. That's why I mountain bike. I love being in the woods, on near vertical trails. I relish the challenge when I can appreciate the best nature has to offer. So it was only natural that I would choose a career in the elements, where I can make a difference. That's why I serve in the United States Coast Guard. We monitor commercial vessels, making sure our ports and waterways are safe and clean from oil or other hazardous material. We patrol our fisheries and protect marine wildlife and their habitats. With all we do, it's about protecting America. This is a lot like mountain biking. It's always exciting to navigate through the next challenge.
Were you born ready to protect America, our environment, our resources, our people? Learn more at GoCoastGuard.com.
Sponsored by the United States Coast Guard in cooperation with the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
The following message is brought to you by the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
The Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association represents more than 1 million of your friends and neighbors working in the hospitality industry today. We are creating jobs, funding dreams, and building a strong Florida economy. Trained professionals line up daily to make sure your experience at their restaurants and hotels is unlike anywhere else in the world. So please invite your friends, plan a trip, and stay a while.
AM 1470 WNN. Listen live at wwnnradio.com and like us on Facebook. Search AM 1470 WWNN.
The opinions expressed in the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Golf and Travel Show, the place to fine-tune your swing, dress for the course, club, or cruise, and get tips on the best places to play and stay at the right price. Vacation or staycation, host Dan Shub, along with his expert co-hosts and guests, will tell you where to go. To play golf and vacation, that is. Now, here's Dan.
And
Welcome to the Golf and Travel Show. I'm Dan Schub, and tonight, as always, we're going to be talking a little bit of golf, and we're going to be talking some travel, and boy, do we have a great show in store for you tonight. This is our last show of the year, and that's why we're going to make it special for everybody who's tuned in. And tonight we're going to be joined by some great guests, which will include teaching professional Donnie Green, who happens to also be the father of J. Marie Green, who just captured the medalist position at the LPGA Q School, so she's going to be heading out to the LPGA Tour this year. We'll find out a little bit about what that's like to be a father of a soon-to-be LPGA star, as well as Sandy Hirsch and Jack Yutkin, who they're doing something a little bit different than most of us are doing. They're going to be cruising around the world. They're doing it bit by bit, and they're embarking on almost their last leg. They've got just a couple of continents left, and we're going to hear a little bit more about that. But first, what I do want to do is introduce my co-host to you, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce one of my co-hosts who actually is on an airplane right now, so she won't be here, but just to let everybody know that she's normally here, we're going to introduce her anyway, and that would be Jerry Augustine. And and instead of coming in by boat, she's on a plane, so that's a little bit unusual for her, but because she's typically cruising as well. But Jerry brings to our show 25 years of experience in the service and hospitality industry. She's currently the president and owner of Sea Dreams Travel in Jupiter. And at Sea Dreams, she's that concierge who can create the perfect vacation for you and your family. And Sea Dreams also has a very knowledgeable staff that has traveled the world. Her tagline, "Your World, Your Way," is exactly what Sea Dreams is all about. And when you listen to the Golf and Travel Show, and when you listen to Jerry, she proves every week, except this week, how booking travel yourself is not your best or easiest route. So hopefully she's having a safe flight tonight. Also, should hear a propeller perhaps instead, although it's a jet plane. There you go. And who you're hearing as well in the background next to me is my good friend Jess Frank. And Jess Frank is a PGA teaching professional and the owner of the Jess Frank Golf Academy at Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club in Boca Raton. And Jess specializes in on-course instruction with V1 video analysis because he believes that every lesson and every swing is different. Jess likes to focus on the scoring part of your game, the short shots taught on the golf course, which instills confidence. And some of you may know him because you may have seen him at some of the area country clubs such as St. Andrews, Boca Lago, and Broken Sound. Jess loves to teach and has a passion for the game because golf is challenging and just makes it easy for you to learn and to excel. And welcome.
Thank you, Dan. Good evening, and good evening to everyone out there.
So, it's our last show.
It is. Unbelievable how time flies.
It is. And I didn't mention that in addition to our guests, I think a little bit later on in the show, we're going to be talking a little bit about New Year's resolutions and our resolutions for golf as well as for travel.
Yes.
And hopefully everybody who's listening has their own New Year's resolutions. And just remember that you can post them on our Facebook page. So just look us up at facebook.com/The Golf and Travel Show. And because we're interested in knowing what everybody's resolutions are, and then we're going to hold everybody to them during the course of the year, right?
Of course. So we're going to check in, and social media has a way of holding you accountable.
Right, and we're going to see who lasts like more than a day or a week. You know, I don't know if anybody makes it the entire year, but it'll be interesting to see. And another thing that we're also going to be doing is that anybody who does comment about their New Year's resolution or anything else on our Facebook page, and also happens to have liked our Facebook page, they can enroll themselves, which there's only a little bit of time left because this ends the end of the year, in our Significant Improvement Giveaway. And if you're wondering what that is, if you haven't been listening week after week, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving away to one lucky listener, selected at random, a chance to play a round of golf with Jess and myself at the beautiful Boca Dunes Country Club in Boca Raton. And you can bring your significant other as well, and we define a significant other as a spouse, a girl or boyfriend, or your best golfing buddy, because some of us that is our significant other. And if your New Year's resolution is to improve your game, then you'll benefit from some on-course tips from Jess. There's no transportation included, so if you don't live in the area, you're going to have to get yourself to Boca Dunes and Boca Raton. And to enter, as I mentioned before, all you got to do is visit our Facebook page, like our page, post a comment on anything that you would like to post a comment about. And like I say, a New Year's resolution would be a perfect thing this time of year. The more you comment, the more chances you get to win, but please just once per day. is what will count as far as an entry. You need to do that by December 31st because it is a New Year's resolution, and that is the official cutoff day for New Year's resolutions.
Yes.
And again, Facebook.com/The Golf and Travel Show is where you'll find us. So we'll be looking forward to seeing everybody's New Year's resolutions.
Well, this significant improvement giveaway is definitely a win-win for everyone, Dan. It's something that will help for sure.
I think so. And speaking of significant improvement, this is the time in the show where we typically like to address something that's going to help the listeners with their golf game, a little tidbit of information from you on the house, so to speak, just to let them know that they can be helped this way.
Absolutely.
Not as much as in person with you, of course. I mean, that's the next step. For those that are resisting, the people who think that their game is where they need it to be, but maybe it really isn't, there's a little something that you can do right now to help them. So what's your pearls of wisdom for today?
They're pearls, and hopefully people take advantage of them and try them out on the range. But you know, it's interesting because every golfer is different and they swing different. So, you know, the tips I give are great, but it might work for one person while, you know, sometimes that's not what the other person needs. So you just have to be very careful whether you're looking on YouTube or the Golf Channel, you know, or listening to one of our gems here at the Golf and Travel Show.
I think what happens, and, you know, I had mentioned earlier about your video analysis, I think sometimes when you're standing over the ball, whether you're at the range or on the golf course, you think you're doing something, but you're not always doing what you think. So sometimes it takes either a video camera to film you so that you can actually see what you're really doing, or somebody who has a trained eye, of course, to watch what you're doing and tell you.
And that, I'll tell you what, I just started with a program called the Golf Critiquer. It's an online lesson program. So if you're at the range, you could upload your golf swing. You have your buddy videotape your golf swing with their iPhone and upload it to my system, and I can evaluate for you and send it right back to you within minutes. So it's kind of like
technology.
Crazy. It's a no-brainer, and it's a great value. Something.
Is it like Big Brother? Like even when you're not with them, you're watching them?
Pretty much, because on the iPad, what's really cool about the system is they actually get my face on there, not just my voiceover. I don't know if that's good or bad, but
so you don't have a face just for radio?
Yeah, no. Well, it might be, but yeah, I mean that's a great way for people to, you know, if you don't really know what you're doing, if you're not hitting a lot of good shots on the range, and you feel like, you know, there's something you're missing, you could definitely shoot the video, upload it to my Golf Critiquer website, and like I said, I'll do the critique for you. I get it right on my iPad and send it right back to you, and it's pretty convenient. So it's a great way to, you know. It's very hard to self-diagnose, and interestingly enough is that I always teach people to become their own coach when I'm out there with them, because unfortunately, even though I'd love to be out with them playing wherever they're playing, you know, I can't be. So this is something I teach people to watch the ball flight, and the ball flight basically tells you, you know, how you're swinging, and it comes back to what we found with TrackMan, which is the launch monitor system that the tour pros use, is that where the ball starts is where the club face is pointing. Okay, so where the ball starts in the ball flight is where the club face is pointing. Then the path creates the curve of the ball. So if your club face is pointed to the left, that ball's going to usually start to the left. And then if your swing is to the left, your ball is going to probably slice back to the right. Mm-hmm. Because that's usually how the
opposite.
Path. Yeah, exactly.
Because of the spin you're imparting on the ball.
And so like we were speaking earlier, one of the and you know, I, as you know, and our listeners know, I'm the home of the playing lesson. I love to be on the course and teach you how to play on the course, but sometimes we need to go back on the range and work on a little bit of mechanics. And so, in fact, like today, had a young lady out on the driving range, and she was pulling the ball, hitting the ball left off the toe of the club, and so we worked with an impact bag, and we if you know what an impact bag is, just like a giant golf ball. And so basically what I do is divide the impact bag in half, and as a right-handed player is facing the impact bag, I tell them to hit the inside quadrant of the impact bag and spin it to the right. So that basically what it does is it helps with their extension. It works with the club path getting in to out, because most people come over the top or over the top of the plane. And so when they swing in to out, that is generating the optimal speed and path and plane, and they're really kind of exaggerating this so they can swing out to the right a little bit. We work on closing the club face, and now you're hitting a little bit of a draw. So it's that's a big improvement.
And those impact bags are great to get your tension out as well, right?
Oh, sure. It's like a punching bag.
Exactly. You just get to beat those things.
Exactly. You get to beat them. But if you use them properly, they can really a teaching aid can really help you, and it gives you immediate feedback. So,
yeah. I have to say that it took me to this point in my life where I finally, when I'm out there hitting the ball, that I kind of understand what I'm doing right or wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm finally getting feedback and processing it. It took me 30 or 40 years. I mean, I don't always play that often, but when people are telling me that they feel or that they know what they're doing, it's like I didn't get it, but I finally have gotten it. But it's still not so easy to understand it and fix it yourself. It takes a professional.
And usually what happens if you're not hitting the ball well and you keep doing the same thing over and over again, I mean, basically you're not going to get any better. So you'll
be getting better at being bad.
Exactly. So do the opposite. If you're really stinking it up out there and you're trying to do the same thing and you're not getting better, do the opposite.
Make a New Year's resolution. Get help. It's
there you go.
It's right here.
See your local PGA professional.
And that's your tip for today. Thank you, Jess.
You're welcome.
And we are back, and I think, Jess, you have one of our special sponsors that you want to say a few words about.
We do, and I was out there today at the beautiful Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club giving some lessons on the back of the range, actually, and it's a great golf course located in Boca Raton. They have a par 72 championship course and a par 3 executive course. Come see what a nice course this is. They're having a Christmas Day special, only $25 on the championship course and $9 walking on the executive, or $17 riding. So if you want to try out those new clubs you got, call 561-451-1600, extension 101 for your tee time at 561-451-1600, extension 101. Also, if you're looking for a great place to spend New Year's Eve, Boca Dunes offers a night of dinner, dancing, hors d'oeuvres, continuous DJ music, and 5 hours of open bar, party favors, and a champagne toast at midnight, all for only $85 per person. Contact the events department at 561-451-1600, extension 116. Speak to Aaron or Tracy, or Boca Dunes Catering at Comcast.net.
And speaking of driving ranges, we were just talking, not every golf course has a driving range, no less a lit-up driving range, so that's kind of unique and very cool, especially for folks like you that like to teach on the back of the range. And speaking of which, it is the home of the Jess Frank Golf Academy, which is also the home of the Playing Lesson, and my co-host, Jess Frank, who for 15 years has been improving golfers' ball striking, consistency, and distance. He's a PGA teaching professional, owner of the Jess Frank Golf Academy, which is located in Boca Raton at the beautiful Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club. So if you're a seasoned golfer who's trying to break 80 or a beginner, Jess's passion is to help you play better golf and have a lot of fun doing it. Each lesson includes on-course time with V1 video analysis, focusing on improving all facets of your game. And for a limited time, new students who mention the Golf and Travel Show will receive, what was it that you were receiving, Jess?
Dozen Titleist
Dozen
Pro
Titleist.
V1s.
Okay, I wasn't sure if we were still giving those away.
Sure.
Dozen Titleist Pro V1 golf balls, and that's with the purchase of a series of lessons. And to learn more about the services of the Jess Frank Golf Academy, just call 561-213-8579. That's 561-213-8579, or visit jessfrankgolf.com. And I think it's just about time for our first guest.
Yes, it is, and feel very, very lucky tonight to have this young man joining us. He's been a PGA golf professional for quite some time, and a good friend of mine, and probably one of the nicest golf pros and just people you'll meet, and just a great family. And in fact, his name's Donnie Green, and he is the father of a brand new LPGA Tour golfer, Jay Marie. And I'd like to bring Donnie in. Good evening, Donnie.
Hi, Jess. How you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. I'm doing great, and just congratulations again. I know we've talked before off the air, and just a wonderful blessing for you and your family, and congratulations. And why don't you just talk about what's gone on since Jay is basically qualified for the LPGA Tour?
Yeah, it's a hectic time now. I mean, the way she qualified. And the way she competed in the Q School 3 has sparked the love and the interest of a lot of people. So we signed with IMG, and we have an agent so that handles most of all the stuff to help us out. It's new for us where we're going. We start 3 weeks, the third week in January in the Bahamas, and then travel to Australia. So just preparing our minds, our games, and to travel that long a distance, all going to be new for us. The competition is going to be a lot stiffer, but I think Jay's ready.
And Jay is no stranger to competition, but kind of go back and Donnie's well known. He's the teaching professional at the Broken Sound Club right here in Boca Raton, and Jay's born and raised here in Boca Raton. And Donnie's well known for his hair, and I believe
is this going to be something new? This is Dan, by the way. Hi, Donnie. If he's always been known for his hair, is he going to be known for the success that his daughter has achieved? Is this a life-changing experience?
Well, I believe that was the package, right, Donnie? That you're going to be caddying for Jay because they feel that she can get noticed because your hair attracts a lot of attention.
Well, I look in the mirror and scare myself every morning, to be honest with you. It has a mind of its own. Everybody thinks I put gel in it, but I really don't. My father, grandfather, all the men on our side of the family have the same hair. Look like Back to the Future guy. But they're going to probably try and team us up, maybe call us the Green Team or whatever it is, and try and work something out of it. It's in the making now. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but I think they're looking at it as something different for sure.
Well, let's face it, while golf is a wonderful sport to watch, it's still entertainment, it's TV, and they're always looking for different kinds of storylines, so I wouldn't be surprised if they try and exploit you a little bit just for their own ratings, so hopefully that's okay with you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be game for anything as long as it's good, honest stuff.
Well, Donnie, very interestingly enough, as golf has grown and ladies golf has grown, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you took Jay along? Because I remember seeing her on the range probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and remember how well she hit the ball and how strong a player she was. And why don't you? I mean, this is a very special relationship, and I know you're a very special type of person and your personality and the way you handle things and go about things. But talk a little bit about the caddy, or parent, coach, caddy relationship that you and Jay have.
That's a great question. I would say that as we move on and move forward, as she gets older in the game and with her maturity, I am able to, because I've played before, able to let her make mistakes, knowing that she didn't listen to what I said. She went her own direction. I'm able to let her fall and let her try and learn on her own. She came to the game of golf not just playing golf. She was an athlete, volleyball, soccer. She played tackle football with the boys, but she was a tomboy growing up. And skateboarding, she just decided one day I was going out the door to try and qualify for the senior tour. And her and my son came to the garage and said, will you teach us how to play golf? This is the day before I was leaving. And I said, wow, why would you want to do this now? And so I said, if you both are serious, I'll cancel my entry, in which I did, and I've taught them ever since. And I actually stopped playing at 49 years old. I'm 58. So that day I quit and devoted my time to them. And Jay went on and she was serious about it. Matt tried it and didn't really go the same direction as her with the heart, mind, soul practicing. But Jay did, and that's where I am now.
Yeah, and one of the things I don't think a lot of people appreciate or see is actually the hard work and the hours spent, on the driving range. I mean, I've been over at Broken Sound and seen you guys. Every time I'm out there, I see you on the range, and you're always working on the game. And as a fellow PGA teaching professional, I can appreciate the fact of what it takes to get to that level. And if you were going to tell somebody right now who, coming up in the game, a young lady or a young man coming up in the game, what would be your advice to them if their goal is to make the LPGA Tour or the PGA Tour?
Wow, that's another great question. I teach a lot of juniors, and to get the basics taught in a way that's understandable for little kids, and then have some athletic experience in other directions, I would have to tell them that my wife had said something she was studying as far as habit forming. I don't know, 10,000 times you do one thing. I don't know the exact number. But it's hours and hours of practice. And Jay was at the range. She would be at the range 7-8 hours a day, every single day. And she would show up right out in Bushytail and ready to learn. So you got to be willing to learn, put the time in. You also got to keep your body up. You got to learn how to eat, sleep, and it's a whole big thing. It's just not going on the LPGA Tour. And when you start off, you're going to take your knocks, which we missed by one stroke in Q School 2 last year. So there's pain in it, and it's not easy. And she rebounded back, and it was all put together on that one magical week, 7 days in a row, really, at Q School 3 up in Daytona Beach, Florida. So we were blessed for sure.
So Donnie, should I assume that it's going to be the same story now? It's all starting all over again, and that every week it's the same thing, that there's going to be weeks that are going to be good and there's going to be weeks that are going to be disappointing, and so it really never ends, does it?
It's just like in Q School 3 when Jay opened up her first round with 62. I thought for sure I didn't sleep the next night, all night. I thought she'd come up 75 or 6. And then she goes 68, and I thought for sure now she's 14 under. I just kept thinking it. So we're in a moment that doesn't happen very often. So I know there's pain in this game, and she knows it. And I tell everybody if they all want her to do well in the Bahamas or first LPGA event, I say whatever happens, I'm still going to love my daughter. We're not going anywhere, and if it hurts, we're just going to show up and learn from that one. So she made a great statement on her final round. 2 holes to go on her 90 holes on the 88th hole. She looked at me, she said, Dad, I cannot wait to get back to the range of Broken Sound and get better than I am. That's what she told me. She was 28 under at that point. And I started crying. I had to turn my head around. I thought I'd be right back. I had to actually go somewhere behind a tree and just cry for joy. And that's exactly what she said. It would take a personality like that to really get to make it.
Well, and obviously the competition just keeps getting tougher, so it's going to be difficult, but those victories are going to be so much sweeter, right?
Yeah, and the great thing she said to me yesterday, we lost in the finals of the U.S. Amateur to Lydia Ko, and we know Lydia and her mother, and so Jay was hoping that in the Bahamas she's paired with Lydia.
Well, she'll get her revenge for sure. I'm positive of that.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're just about out of time, so what I'd like to do is first of all, wish the two of you luck in your travels and hope that you'll come back on our show later on in the year, perhaps, when you get a break in the action and give us a little bit of an update as to how it's all going out there, because we're interested, and I'm sure our listeners would be as well.
Well, thank you so much. The next time I'll definitely have Jay here, and she'll do most of the talking the next time so you get hands-on. But, Jess, you're a great guy. You are the greatest professional I've ever met also. And everything you do, you're always the best you can, wherever you are when you're there, while you're there, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Donnie. I feel the same way, and you're a good man, and good luck, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Okay, Jess. Thank you.
Thanks, Donnie. Happy New Year.
Cinderella story, out of nowhere, a former greenskeeper now about to become the Masters champion.
It looks like I'm a wreck. It's in the hole!